Please sit down. John, you said we were going to be on at the end. And I apprehend this is the beginning. I've thought about what to talk about tonight, and I want to be as candid as possible. I think we are at a moment of intolerable risk for this country because of the Trump presidency. Trump is angrily defunding scientific research, child research. Musk is gone, but the idea still persists. Cut, slash healthcare, slash human service. What has Trump done? So many things. It's quite a catalog. He's threatened to seize the Panama Canal. Now there's a good idea. He's proposed acquiring Greenland. He's suggested that we should annex Canada. He actually has withdrawn the United States from the World Health Organization, one of the most important international organizations. He has dismantled the U.S. international development system. He has launched a very celebrated trade war. Back in 2017, someone in the White House who worked for Trump during his first presidency gave me a memo. And the memo was given to me by somebody in a very important position saying, you need to understand the foundations of what Trump is trying to do and what he cares about. So what has Trump done, among many things? He's launched this trade war. I have, in the first book I did on the Trump presidency, a quotation from Trump, but not just the quotation, but what he said in his own penmanship. As we know, this is one thing he does well. He got good grades in penmanship. And in this memo, Trump wrote, "Trade is bad." This is, if you examine the Trump presidency, the guiding principle, the point at which the Trump presidency, in my view, finally went off the rails. Trade is bad. Now think about it. So misguided a concept. It comes Trump's conviction about this. Why is trade bad? Actually, trade is very good. For instance, what has international trade done? It has lifted more than 1 billion people out of poverty around the world. Who's done that? Lifted 1 billion people out of poverty. According to the World Bank, that's what trade did. Trade makes us safer. It strengthens international relations. It boosts economic, domestic innovation and productivity. It expands markets for businesses, enabling them to scale up and hire more workers. Trade lowers prices for consumers, a big deal. It provides access to a wider variety of goods and services as well as better quality. So, in the research I did for my books on Trump, Gary Cohen, who was Trump's first economic advisor in the White House, now Cohen had impeccable qualifications for being the top economic advisor in a Republican administration. And Cohen, with his experience, pressed Trump, why do you have these views that trade is bad? Trump's answer, I just do. I have had these views for 30 years. I personally pressed Trump on this. This is a shocking rationale. I am going to set policy because I've had these views for 30 years. If you think about it, it's a shocking rationale for the leader of a government who is supposed to, in part of the process, learn. What does Trump do? He has said recently, whoever has the gold makes the rules. He believes that, and there, unfortunately, is some truth. 36 years ago, 1989, my Watergate partner, Carl Bernstein. Carl, you're here. Where are you? So Carl, who has this eclectic mind, unlike mine, which tries to think very narrowly, said we need to, he met Donald Trump in New York here. Now this is 36 years ago. Trump was what? A politician? No, he was all real estate. He was all New York City. And Carl said to me, we need to go interview Trump. And I said, what the fuck? Why Trump? What's he got to do with politics? And Carl, you know, the best sniffer in American journalism. And so we went to see Trump here in New York, Trump Tower, and we asked Trump all kinds of questions, how he operates. One of his theories is never fold. He says, treat some people with candy, but only some. And then he said something I think is one of the most important utterances Trump has ever made. He said, you ask me where I'm going, and I don't think I could tell you at all. Now think of that. 36 years ago, he had, I believe him when he said he had no idea what he was doing or where he was going. Now, in the news is this notion of taco. Trump always chickens out. But you can see this when Carl and I talked to him in 1989. He literally had no idea where he was going. And if you think about the Trump presidency, it's a story of unsteady leadership. Where are you going? What is the point of it? What are you trying to examine? To which port are you sailing America? And his answer, I've had these views for 30 years. Think about that. 30 years. That is the contamination, and that is the crime. That we have a leader who will say, I've just had these views for 30 years, so that's what we are going to do. Think for a moment how that has strangled this country. This idea, I know lots of people. I have never met anyone who will say my rationale for acting is that I've had these views for 30 years. I wanted to read something from one of my favorite books, All the King's Men by Robert Penn Warren. When Carl Bernstein and I were working on Watergate, we thought, gee, let's use that title, All the King's Men. And a wise editor said, well, no, it's All the President's Men. So we stole it in the great tradition of journalism. All the King's Men, Robert Penn Warren. And of course, we made it All the President's Men. If you think, it was suggested to me the other day, maybe we better go back to the original, All the King's Men. So one of the great parts of All the King's Men is the ending. And I want to read it because it shows ultimately what we all rest and survive on in this business, and that is the power of language. Last paragraph of All the King's Men. So by next summer, we shall have left Burden's Landing. We shall come back, no doubt, to walk down the row and watch young people on the tennis courts by the clump of mimosas, and walk down the beach by the bay where the diving floats lift gently in the sun, and on out to the pine grove where the needles thick on the ground will deaden the footfall, so that we shall move among the trees as soundlessly as smoke. But that will be a long time from now. And soon now we shall go out of the house and go into the convulsion of the world, out of history, into history, and the awful responsibility of time. Thank you very much.